I think successful horror movies have to have a great family drama at the center of it. I think if you just have a movie about paranormal things, it doesn't work. Paranormal Activity, the first movie, is a drama about a couple who's not getting along and a guy who's going to set out to prove that there are no ghosts to his girlfriend, right? And I think this movie is, I think the Insidious movies are the same thing. At their heart and soul, they're family dramas, and then the demon and the paranormal and the scares are laid on top of that. I think if you do it the other way around, if you think of the scares first and then put the story in, you're going to wind up with not a very good movie. I had made Paranormal Activity, and Paranormal Activity was a combination of independent film and studio film. It was an independently made film and released by a studio. And I really enjoyed that. I really thought, for me, that was a good place to be. And so I wanted to see if we could do that again. And so I said, let's look for another very low budget, scary movie that we can make on our own that might have a chance of getting distributed by a studio. And James and Leigh pitched me Insidious. And I said, you know what, let's try with this movie. And it was the second movie that we did after Paranormal Activity was Insidious. So it's very important to our company, and I have a very soft spot in my heart for it. Make the movies for less money. You know, we made it, well, Paranormal Activity was $15,000, but there are movies that we've made as recently in the last year for very, very low budgets, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. And I think that they're, no matter how difficult the market is, if you bring the budget down, eventually you'll get to a place where at least you get your money back. So that's what I always say to people is bring the budget down and choose stories that can be done inexpensively. That way you get to make your movies and not talk about them. We have a movie called The Gallows, which is a found footage, really scary movie. We have a movie called The Gift, which is a Joel Edgerton movie with Jason Bateman, which is a really creepy thriller. And then we have a movie called The Visit with M. Night, which comes out in it's his next movie, and it's a great old school night movie. And then the last movie we have this year is Gem and the Holograms, which is a big brand in Italy. Italy in particular. Italy and the United States are the two places that Gem and the Holograms did the best, so I'm excited for that.
I mean, I felt a lot of pressure that I was continuing something that there's a large group of fans that really love this franchise, they buy into it, so I needed this film to live up to their expectations. I didn't want to disappoint any of the Insidious fans. But I felt like I had a lot of authority over the franchise, being the writer of the first two, so I felt confident enough to sort of take some chances in some areas, and I'm really happy with the end result. I knew what we had done in the first films, and I had to stick to that, obviously, in a large sense, but I tried to give it my own little touches of what the further would be. I think it's a very malleable world. You can make it whatever you want. I wish I had mind control powers and could control everybody like Professor X, but I can't. So I hope people respond emotionally. You know, I want people to not just be scared in this film, but even cry. You know, cry at the end and really, really respond emotionally beyond just the horror.